up, Fitzy?
What's up, buddy? Good to be back with you on the fourth quarter live. Having my Sunday is much better than it was an hour and a half ago when the Bengals were actually in the lead in the game that they are doing everything they can under the Queen City sun to lose so they don't blow the first pick in the 2020 draft. I'm hoping that what we're watching right now, Arkan, is a sign of things to come where it's the defense standing up and doing its job, and more importantly, the rise of Harry, the Harry up offense. Call it what you want, but seeing more N'Keal Harry involved today is giving me a sign of hope that this offense may not come to full fruition, but a spark. I just need a little something, and I think I got it today when I watched them go to Harry early and often.
Good. Well, I'm glad you feel that way. I do a little bit. I sort of predicted this game would go this way. They'd get like a score on the first drive, which they did. Then they'd have a couple of 3-and-outs, maybe a field goal here and there. And then you'd get, the defense and the special teams setting them up for short fields and easy points, which you even got a pick six there. They had the one where that was Matthew Slater on the punt return, and
Slater on the punt return fumble recovery at the end of the first half.
Right, which was great. But then they ended up going 5 yards back and had to kick a field goal there. My expectations for this offense are so low right now, Fitzy, I can't even really explain it. Last week I said, I don't care if you lose to the Chiefs. You can lose to the Chiefs, but if you lose in a shootout, that's okay. If you put up 31 points and lose to the Chiefs, oh, well, shit happens. You lose to the Chiefs. They didn't put up points and they lost. This week, I'm the same as you. I just wanted Sony Michel to do something, which he has, and N'Keal Harry to get like 5 or 6 targets, and that's it. And that's the rock bottom of my expectations for this offense right now.
It's unbelievable that we've had to set our expectations so low at this point that we're looking to a game where they're playing the worst run defense in football and the worst team overall in football. We're looking to see signs of life in the passing game, a little built momentum in the running game, and the defense and special teams to do as they've done all season and carry the day. Nick Folk has looked good. Matthew Slater, obviously, with another amazing play. James White doing James White things. Hey, listen, you know what it is? It's a 2019 Patriots road game because Mohamed Sanu blew another fourth down pass, although Brady had a little extra, or if not too much mustard on that pass. But actually, my prediction for a final score was 27-10, so I'm cool if it holds right here. I want to.
That would work out for you. Did you get squares, or is that just an on-air prediction?
I would just a lousy on-air prediction.
Hey, it's not lousy so far.
No, looking pretty good so far. Yeah. And the game has definitely progressed much the same way that I know you saw it, and I've seen it too. By the way, everyone who's tuned in with us right now, if you guys want to join the chat, join me and Arkan, you can just hit the join us or chat with us or, hey, let's hang out button, little green button in the lower right corner. As a matter of fact, we actually have our first fan-testant joining us right now. It's the fan line button. It's James in California, a.k.a. our shirtless amigo.
Yes.
And he's ready to join Arkan and Fitzy on Fourth Quarter Live. Bring it up.
Yeah. What's up, dude? What's up, James?
Arkan, you know how people say, like, when they find something they like on Twitter and they just like retweet it, but this is the content I'm here for. This is the fourth quarter shirtlessness that I am here for right now.
Looking fucking good, buddy. How you doing?
I'm good. This team is so garbage and so painful to watch. Like,
defense is okay.
I used to love watching Patriots games, and now I dread watching them.
All right, so I stress watch them, and I get accused of overreacting too much, but I've seen enough football in my day to have a pretty decent idea, or so I think, as to what I'm watching. You dread watch at this point? Come on, they're just they're struggling a little bit this year.
They've been struggling all year.
I know, but you've had it so good for so long, guy.
I know, but still, like, it's just annoying at the end. It's Brady's last year. They're giving him garbage to work with. They're not going all in for him.
Well, what do you think, Arkan? Do you think they didn't give him nearly enough? Do you think they gave him garbage to work with, or do you think everyone's trying too hard to be that next guy who does something for the offense?
Well, I don't know. I mean, they might be trying hard, but they're not succeeding with it. I'd say they drafted a wide receiver in the first round. He got hurt. That's not really their fault. They did try and bring in Antonio Brown, which is, I guess, kind of just half-assing it, but he is a really talented guy.
They can bring him back.
They could not bring him back, no. Did you see his latest Instagram post?
He's funny.
He's got
hilarious.
the cops up on his fucking front yard, throwing clothes out onto the yard while the cops are like trying to drag him out of the house. I was like, oh, this looks like a good time, Antonio.
Oh yeah.
Why don't you live stream this to millions of people, you idiot?
Make sure you IG live it like he's a sick man.
He's a sick player though.
Yeah, that's. You have said no wrong things at this point. To this point in the conversation, you have said nothing wrong. I know.
I just think this team is going to go one and done, honestly. I don't see who they can beat.
I think they could beat Pittsburgh. I think they could beat Buffalo, and I think they could beat Houston. I don't know if they could beat Baltimore or Kansas City.
I think Pittsburgh's going to end up as the 6th seed. Buffalo the 5.
Yeah.
Buffalo will probably play Kansas City or Houston, and I don't think Buffalo will beat either of those teams.
Well, the first Saturday in January has to always be the 4:00 Houston Texans letdown wild card game memorial, right? Like, haven't they hosted the 4:00 game for like 9 straight years? They'll do that again. I think they'll make it. Tennessee could still sneak in, though. What's the score? Anyone have a score in that game? I know it was 14-0 a little while ago.
It's tied now, I think.
Oh, it's tied. Yeah. Look, speaking of, I think N'Keal Harry's coming on pretty nice. Speaking of Harry, James, I think Harry for the Patriots has come on pretty nice the last couple weeks, and especially today. That kid, A.J. Brown, he done blowed up for Tennessee. Where was he drafted?
Yeah, so nice.
What's that? Is he a first rounder or a second rounder? You guys know?
Second, I think.
Second? Yeah, I want to check on that one, actually.
He's so nice.
A.J. Brown.
Yeah, he was selected 51st overall out of Ole Miss. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and the Patriots' lack of pass rush is really concerning also.
Yeah, remember they had a pass rush earlier in the season? They haven't seemed to have much in the last couple of weeks, have they?
No, they're not really getting to the quarterback too much. And this isn't a mobile quarterback out here now. It's one thing when it's Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes and Dak Prescott, all those guys. But this is Andy Dalton. He's not fast. You should be able to get to Andy Dalton.
No, I feel like we've gone from – and look, coverage will always dictate the amounts of pressure the Patriots are probably able to get on people. But thanks for joining us, Shirtless James. Stay shirtless, my friend.
Highlight of my week right there.
Yeah, seriously.
You know why? It's because I'm jealous of the body hair.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Dude, I'm very twinky. I don't grow a lot of body hair.
So you're like the underside of a platypus?
Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing. I can't grow facial hair. Like, it sucks, man.
I am all chest sweater. It's brutal. I've got plenty. I could spare you some guy. We actually have another. This is great. We got another fan who wants to join us on the fan line. Don't forget, if you would like to join Arcan and Fitzy here on FanCred's Fourth Quarter Live, just hit the fan chat button in the lower right-hand corner. We'll put you in the queue. This is Jeff from Watertown. Look at I love the fact that
Jeff from Watertown over here.
This is amazing. First, we got the shirtless guy. Now Jeff's got his fancy party hat. Wait, dude, did you make a hat out of Surly Furious cans?
So they actually sell this hat there.
You're kidding. So, Arcan, this is one of my favorite breweries in the country. This is Surly Brewing out in Minneapolis.
Cool.
Furious is their flagship IPA. They also make Todd the Axeman, which is a damn good beer. That is amazing. A Surly Furious Fez, new favorite fan in Watertown. What's up, Jeff?
Thank you. I just want to say hi to Fitzy. A huge fan. We love you. We saw you back at that other brewery show for the comedy show. That was awesome.
Oh yeah, down in Castle Island. Yeah, man.
Can't wait to see you at the next home game.
Oh, for sure, man. I'll be there next Saturday, and I'm going to be a little more excited than I was maybe 45 to 60 minutes ago when I was thinking that they might actually be playing Buffalo for the freaking AFC East next week.
Yeah, that was rough.
What's been the most encouraging thing you think you've seen in the second half, Jeff? Has it been the fact that they were starting to move the ball a little bit, or are you more of the defense turning you on?
Well, the Bengals really, they got behind and then they couldn't run the ball anymore. That's really what turned the game over for us. They couldn't just run it over. And then I don't know, I had like slippery pants on the running back because we could not tackle this guy.
No, Joe Mixon. Arcan, don't you think Joe Mixon doesn't get the credit he does? Like, that's a talented guy. I mean, I know he was a handful on and off the field in college at Arkansas, but this kid.
Oh, please! I mean,
he's talented.
He is, and you know why? Because even though he was caught on camera slugging a girl in a sandwich shop, he still got picked in like the first 3 rounds. So I mean, that's how you know the talent's really there. I mean, it's the NFL; they'll gamble on character guys, but like that was the Ray Rice tape before he got drafted. Like he was, you know what I mean? Like it was right there. It was in college, and that girl was like half his size, and he just clocked her. I hate that Joe Mixon's doing so well in the league. But, I mean, this is the NFL that we're talking about. I think he is one of the top backs in the league, but he's stuck on a dead-end team.
Right.
I don't wish for him to go to any team that I root for, though. Hell no. I would hate to have to root for a guy like him.
So would I. I know we have so many mixed emotions, and here we were just taking a call from Shirtless James a few minutes ago, talking about the fact that we had allowed ourselves to root for Antonio Brown, who's never been caught slugging anyone on camera in a sandwich shop or anything. But there he was yesterday pitching his clothes on the front lawn, and months or years ago he was tossing furniture off a balcony. So league full of good guys.
Yeah,
real easy to root for, right, Jeff?
Yeah. Did you see the pick that our former wide receiver threw?
The pick that our former wide receiver threw?
Yeah.
Which one?
He was on the team earlier. I could not think.
In this game?
We cut him.
A wide receiver for the Patriots threw a pick?
Yeah. For another.
Braxton Berrios?
Wait, which wide receiver was on our team?
What are you talking about, Jeff?
Gordon.
Oh,
Josh Gordon threw a pick?
Yep.
No shit. I didn't see that.
Wow.
Awesome.
No, I had no idea. Breaking news. Josh Gordon, more interceptions than oh wow. Also a big fantasy day, by the way, for a lot of people that are in the semis and definitely need their teams to come through so we can pay the rent next month. Darius Slayton. There's another wide receiver that's come alive nicely the last couple weeks. Thanks for joining us, Jeff. We'll see you soon, buddy. Appreciate you and your Fez, pal. There's another wide receiver that's come alive in the last couple weeks too. Look, I think eventually I wanted to address the what you mentioned earlier and what our first guy James was talking about, how the Pats didn't have much of a pass rush anymore. It seems like the Pats are now, like earlier in the season, they were getting more of a pass rush. Now I'm not sure if that was coverage dictated or if they were just scheming things differently or if they were blitzing. It seems now they're kind of drifting back towards that they have to engineer a pass rush versus naturally having one. And I'm not sure if that's just fatigue, if it's what they're running, or if it's just the caliber of the teams they're playing.
Yeah, I mean, I think the caliber is certainly a big part of it. The caliber of the teams they played in the beginning of the season were bottom of the barrel, but it's the Bengals. I mean, that's as bad as it gets. Hey, speaking of young, hairless boys, Alex Reamer's in the house. What's up, buddy?
I was going to say, all this talk, Arcand, about twin shirtless men, whenever there's any talk about that, I have to hop in. So all in.
Yeah, you're about 2 fans too late on the Fan Cred fourth quarter hotline there,
I was
Reamer.
putting chum in the water for you there, Reamer. That was...
Take off my shirt, fits. Yeah, some chest there too.
Whoa,
Believe it or not.
Reamer, are you wearing a breast? Are you wearing a breastplate? Are you hitting it? Are you still hitting the gym? Like, damn.
Overwork my pecs. That's the issue. I don't really work anything else. I'm strictly about the glamour muscles.
You
That's
are.
really it. I can't open like a jar of sauce, but I have nice pecs, so that's the most important thing going on. I have a question for you guys, though. I've been watching. Didn't get into it. This taping thing. That I've been out of the sports radio game for a little bit, but this seems to me like the most boring scandal ever. Like, you guys haven't even touched it through the first half of the fourth quarter here.
Right.
I mean,
Well,
I would say, I watched the Glazer video,
Yeah.
and what I sort of assumed about it is what I assume about the, impeachment trials, is that anybody who's watching it is going to see what they want to see. And if they think that they're cheating and that the guy's full of shit and that he knew that shouldn't have been taping that, they're going to believe that. And all the Patriots fans are going to believe the opposite. I tend to believe the opposite, but I also sort of feel like even if that's true, even if it's true the guy didn't know what he was doing, he should have fucking known what he was doing. He should have known you can't tape the sideline. You work for the NFL or an NFL team's company. You have to know that. They have to tell them that. That's ridiculous.
And not only just do you work for an NFL team, but you work for the team that was embroiled in the biggest sideline taping scandal in history. So he should have been sent with a clear edict of get all the supporting B-roll that we may need for this 7-minute Bose headphone sponsored docu-series produced by Kraft Sports Entertainment on Patriots.com. Here's what I need. Supporting B-roll. Also, no fucking footage of the sideline because Bill Belichick had to spend $500,000, the majority of his legacy, and a first-round draft pick paying for when he used to tape them under what he called a misinterpretation of the rules back in 2007. It was so stupid. It was such a giant oversight. And this is what the Patriots never usually do, guys. They never usually make these massive oversights on the little details. It's the attention to the little details that's kept them far away and above the pack for all this time. It was a bed shitting of epic proportions.
Yeah, but my question is, I saw the tape though that you guys do. I mean, like,
I can't hear you, Reamer.
how would that even help? Like,
Yes.
showing guys on and off the side. I don't even understand that part.
I'm not sure exactly. I think you're asking how would it help the team, like on the field. I don't know
how it was. You saw that. Did you? Like,
I don't know exactly either, but I know they got Ernie Adams there, and Ernie Adams does all sorts of weird stuff. And if they want to send the tape over to Ernie, I'm sure he'll figure. Like they scout sidelines. It's not like they don't scout the sideline. That's something that they've been doing for years. I don't know what they get out of it, but they do scout the sidelines.
Reamer, the one thing I'll say, I said it all week on the radio. I said it. I'll say it again, and I know a million other people have said it online, but I think it bears repeating. This, whatever the Patriots wanted in terms of sideline footage of a team, they obviously, if they're playing even up to 3/4 far from max cap or their potential in Cincinnati, if they really needed to get a competitive advantage against them, all he would have needed to have done was sent any one of the three of us with an iPhone 11 Pro and just hit record with a 256 gigabyte memory and just gotten the majority of the stuff, and then either just FedExed it, Dropboxed the footage, walked it up to one Patriot place, whatever. This is someone who just thought he was literally doing his job, and it turns out what he was doing was exactly what he was not supposed to do. I don't think the footage is in any way damning. It's just very discomforting. Alex, you've become a glorious sort of like a silhouette avatar at this
He's
point.
a Twitter egg, yeah.
You're like the fan quit equivalent of a Twitter egg right now. Well, I think what was most discomforting was the conversation, because that makes it seem way more grave than it was.
Yeah, the guy being like, "Oh, I'll delete it right now." Like I can understand if he really didn't know, saying, "Oh, well, then I'll just delete it." But there's also that early report about how in the first Spygate, they were sending guys around, say, if you get caught, tell them you work for Kraft Sports and tell them you're just shooting something for one of the documentaries. And, if they say something, just delete it all. Or, I don't know, have the commissioner stomp on it or whatever the fuck. Like, it's the same thing. Like, that's the part of it that's going to be impossible to get away from, even if it was a coincidence, which I know some people over at Kraft Sports. I don't think they're liars, but it seems kind of, it's a pretty big coincidence, Like,
full disclaimer, I'm a freelance member of State Media, and I've been working for the Patriots in varied capacities for the last 3 years. Mm-hmm. I get checks every couple of weeks from Kraft Sports Entertainment signed by RKK. It's not really a signature; it's more of a laser stamp, but.
He does the sumo style. He just
exactly. And I know a bunch of guys that are down there. From Stacey James, who heads up PR for the team, Fred Kirsch, who's the head of it all down there. My buddy Mike Dussault. See you, Reamer. Good chatting with you, pal. Good to see you again. Working those pecs, by the way.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, wow. That's my new name for Reamer is Vanity Muscles.
Glamour muscles.
Glamour muscles, exactly.
That works. Hey, you want to hear what they're saying on the chat line here, Fitzy? Well, we got a second.
We got anyone here?
Eric says the score shows they're winning, but they suck today. The Bills will really give them a game next week. Will the Bills give them a game next week?
Yes, indeed they will.
They have to, right? If the Bengals are giving them a game
next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
Jeffrey says, want to say hi, Fitzy. Corey says, where's Felger? William says, yeah, where's Mr. Work Ethic paternity leave or something? Look how soft he is. These are the people's words, not mine. What else? Jonathan Jones sucks and blows. Teams abuse him every week. How come Josh McDaniels can't find someone to attack? There's no one on the Bengals that they can exploit. Not a bad point there. Who are they really picking on the Bengals right now?
No, that is far from great shakes of a secondary right there. These are basically like the ghosts of Geno Atkins and Carlos Dunlap. They can get a decent pass rush, as we've seen a couple times today. But this isn't like, you're not talking about like Drake Kirkpatrick at his heyday. You're not talking about, fresh and healthy Pac-Man Jones. This Bengals defense is trash, and Joe Burrow is not going to be able to fix anything on that side of the ball. But the Pats just don't have the weapons to consistently go after and attack this secondary. What they've been doing, by and large, with like the little flares and screens they're getting Lacoste involved. Maybe they can try to build up his confidence. We saw that N'Keal Harry was active earlier today. I feel like now the offense is just going to be what it's been with a little more Harry. I don't know if Sanu is ever going to get the trust of Brady back, although they're going to have to try to keep force feeding him. And I feel like after last week, nice catch right there, and then Jesus. Well, I'm a few seconds ahead of you, Arcand. It's a fantastic catch made by, I believe, a tight end over the middle, followed by a fumble. There was a flag on the play.
Come on.
Here we are talking about trying to work all these like outs, slants, and in cuts. Who was that? Oh, it was Sanu. What do you know? Can he just stop going over the middle of the field? Just stop going to the middle of the field, Sanu. Jesus.
All right, nice pass, nice catch. Oh, brother. Oh, man.
Oh, good
Damn.
Lord.
Has Jacoby Myers played at all? Have you seen him out there?
I don't even think we've seen Jacoby Myers at all. I don't think I've seen him on the field. And does that
look like a Jacoby Myers kind of play, didn't it?
Well, no, actually it doesn't because he caught the ball.
Right, yeah. He caught them dropped it.
Yeah, actually I can't believe the game that Myers perpetrated on the Pats last week. He was, I know we talked about ad nauseum all week long, like, oh, the officials cost them the game. Oh, they couldn't get the head out of their ass for 3.5 quarters until they finally started playing with 12 minutes left. I'm still waiting for the apology from the NFL for the 3 blown calls last week. But, lost in the shuffle, like, those are some bad drops last week from Myers. And I think he's literally sitting on the sidelines, like, watch the grown-ups play this week and figure it out.
I know. And, it's probably time for that. I felt like he was taking a lot of snaps away from Harry, which I thought didn't make a lot of sense.
Right.
And really, I don't know. I'd say my hopeful ceiling for Myers was someone like Kembrell Tompkins. Can you give me a Kembrell Tompkins type of season? Great, if you can. And he can't. So, it's.
I know.
And Tompkins kind of sucked, too. So.
Yeah, he did, because didn't he play his way off the team by the middle of his second season?
Yeah, and you know what? In a lot of ways, these two are like Dobson and Tompkins, because Dobson sort of got outplayed by Tompkins early on and never really picked it up. We'll see if Harry actually ever does. But then within like a year or two, they were both gone.
Right.
You had a high draft pick and an undrafted guy, and then they were both just out of here.
And then Josh Boyce was like, "Hey, I'm also."
Yeah.
All right, we got more people on the fan line. If you guys want to join Arcand and Fitzy here, fourth quarter live, 5 minutes left. I believe this penalty is going to help overturn the fumble on the field. Pat's up 27-13. We got Julio from Somerville on the fan line, Arcand. Welcome to the party, pal. What's going on, Julio?
I don't see him.
Julio.
I'm there.
Oh!
There he is.
Oh!
Well,
there he is.
Up until recently, I didn't like this play calling. I'm like, all right, the line's not there yet. How about some little quick hitters, some screens? Yet you're trying to keep throwing deep, and it just wasn't working early. But so I'm like, they got to get with the weapons they have to realize what's working, what's not really fast, or else the game just get bogged down.
Yeah, not a lot really working out though. Is the only.
I got some good news. I got some good news for you guys coming up. Who's in the mood for some sex Burkhead?
I am.
There it goes. There it goes.
There we go. Get in the end zone. All right. That's the nicest run Rex Burkhead's had all year.
Look at that. Look at that. Oh,
right?
Those moves.
Yes. And also, don't the Bengals suck against the run? But yet we still haven't been able to get anything going.
32nd ranked rush defense.
Yeah, and the Chiefs were 31st. So we get the worst two right in the row here, and that was a nice one there. That was his second touchdown of the year. Yeah, that was his nicest run of the year, I'd say.
That was. Hey, I would like to see far more Burkhead, Brandon Bolden, and hey, you're gonna spend a 3rd round draft pick, Julio. I'm from the school that I feel like I know Ivan Fears has said time and again, the Pats running backs coach, that he trusts his veterans. He's got to go with the guys he's got, and it's just a depth issue for Damian Harris. But in a game, wouldn't today have been the perfect day, you guys, to just trot him out? Edelman has not been that involved. Sit Edelman, work in the rooks, and then just give this kid a chance. Like, maybe you do get up big in the 4th quarter. Just pound the rock with Harris and get him some pro reps.
I don't understand why they keep making him a healthy scratch. It doesn't make any sense to me at all. If the running game was really cooking and they were really, getting big yards and stuff, they're not. Why try something else?
What's that, Julio? Oh man, Julio, we lost Julio too.
Julio froze up.
Julio, that's 2 freeze-ups in a row right now.
I know.
It's all
that's too bad.
Trying to get on. Everyone's trying to get on the line.
Where was Julio? It looked like he was in like an auditorium or something. Or maybe that was the basement stairs there?
Yeah, those are basement stairs.
Okay, yeah. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
than him being in a high school auditorium on a Sunday.
Who did you say? Now I'm getting the calls on my side, and you're getting the texts and the comments on your side. Who did someone say sucks and blows earlier? Jonathan Jones.
Jonathan Jones.
What do you think's behind his sort of like I won't call it a regression. I'll just call it a late season swoon because I think Jonathan Jones arguably made two of the biggest plays of the season when he took down Josh Allen against Buffalo, and then of course that great play he made on Chubb. Are they overworking him? Is he? I mean, that play earlier when he allowed the touchdown was just borderline unforgivable. It literally looks like he froze, and he was like, I forget it.
He got smoked. And he also got smoked against Houston, and he just kind of, I think it's more at this time in the season anyway, other teams are looking for any kind of weakness to hone in on. They used to do this to like Kyle Arrington and guys like that. They'd go after and try and pick out the weak link in the secondary, and I guess he's the guy they're going for. And that's a bunch of good quarterbacks right in the row. I mean, Watson and Mahomes and those guys are all going to, exploit a weakness if they see one. Not so great when freaking got these guys doing it. I mean, that's not what you want to see. But I think he's still a good slot receiver, and he's still making plays. He just made one right there. But if they really try and attack him, I think he's a guy who can be exploited.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good. Oh, speaking of
Felgy,
exploited. What's up, Felga?
He just missed Reamer.
Oh no, that's unfortunate.
Oh, bad news. I think, sorry you missed Reamer. Looks like Jonathan Jones is exiting the game. After that pass breakup, geez, now I feel badly that we were talking about him, Arcan. He was clutching his groin, and now he's kind of limping off the field. So,
oh boy.
Maybe this is going to be a time in the season we're going to be glad they have depth on the slot, and Joejuan Williams will have to start getting some looks, huh?
It'd be nice to see him get on the field finally. If some of these rookies, it'd be nice to see him do something. Like outside of Chase Winovich and the punter, none of them are doing anything. So yeah, I'd be happy to see Williams get a couple of reps. I'd love to see Harris get on the field too. I don't like to see this happen to Jones, but I mean, it's almost like that secondary was due for something to go wrong. Like they've been very healthy this year,
And he was getting picked on a little bit here the last couple of weeks. Like like in those Pro Football Focus rankings, he was like best slot corner, best corner this, and I don't know if I ever really totally bought into that. They started throwing him the last couple of weeks into giving up plays.
Yeah, I mean, he's a slot corner, so he should. I mean, when you try and drag a guy like that deep, he's got. Actually, I think he's the fastest guy on this team, or maybe it's J.C. Jackson. But yeah, he definitely had a swoon the last couple of weeks. But I don't think we'll be seeing him anytime soon. That looked pretty bad.
Yeah, he reached for it right away. Felger, what did you think of the footage?
So. If they were going for B-roll there, that's the worst fucking B-roll ever.
Right?
What? Are you going to use that in any feature that's any good whatsoever? I mean, Jesus.
You know what it looked like, Mike? Have you we've all pocket dialed people. Have you actually accidentally ever pocket recorded or something where you didn't realize your camera was left on for a while and then it just sort of it felt like bad spy footage, like quick, get the Bengals guy on tape, just record, roll, whatever. It was so shitty. It was completely useless.
Well, completely useless in a feature, completely useless for TV footage. For whatever Ernie or the coaches use it for, I don't know. Look, that's not my area of expertise. I do know I have put together television packages. I have worked in television.
Yeah.
That shit's unusable on television. That shit was not for television. Okay. So does that pass for internet? I mean, I don't fucking know. I'm still giving them the benefit of the doubt because it just seems ridiculous to think that they would be that stupid to do that. But boy, that's giving the benefit of the doubt because that footage. That was not for a TV. You can't use that in a TV package.
If you're trying to emulate, here's what an advanced scout does, and you want to shoot his POV and get B-roll. I've worked with enough, B cameramen in my life to know that what you need is about 30 seconds of that, tops. And then maybe they'll use 2 to 3 seconds in the package. 8 minutes of that? I mean, either this guy, I'm telling you, it was a pocket dial, or he was asleep at the wheel, or he's the shittiest cameraman on planet Earth.
Yeah. It just I said it before I saw the video. 8 minutes or 30 minutes, whatever they shot there on the sideline.
Yeah,
they just don't need for cutaways, and that's hard to believe. And then you actually see it, and it's like they're focusing on the personnel group going out, and then sort of back to the bench. And it's like, and the guy's reaction too was, I don't know, iffy.
Yeah,
it was definitely questionable. He was like, I'll delete it right now.
Delete it.
I didn't know.
But what if, hey, what if my wallet were to fall on the floor and we could just make all this go away? Maybe we could just, look, it's literally just like it's an SD card. They're shooting to something that's about this big. Literally something this big is turned into a scandal this big. It's just unthinkable. We were saying earlier, Felger, that like when you work for Kraft Sports, the first thing that it says on like your shot sheet or your to-do list is do not do exactly what this knucklehead in the Bruins jersey did.
Insane. So, again, I'm still giving the benefit of the doubt, but I don't think it looked great.
No,
I don't think, if someone wanted to make a big deal of it, they could. Like if someone wants to say, what the fuck are these guys doing? It's really hard to argue with them.
Did you hear Lock and Four's report earlier that it's going to be a severe fine and possible picks?
Draft pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maskey said that too.
Yeah, let's talk about the picks. If we're talking, anything higher than a I don't know, third, fourth round pick might be too much because still, even if they were up to no good, what exactly can Ernie do with that? I mean, he can do something. For some reason, the Patriots like their sideline shots and they like sideline video and they pay attention to the sidelines.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing something, but how much are you really doing with that?
I don't know. Maybe that's like visual ASMR to Belichick, and he can just watch people on the sidelines all day long. And he's a freak. Let's be honest.
Probably.
The video they showed today was not exonerating. I'll just put it to you like that.
Yeah.
In terms of the team, what's the temperature of the team? I still think you look at that offense and you say it's all set up with defense and special teams, except Brady did throw to N'Keal Harry, and they did make a couple big plays, and that's got to make you feel good. Like, it's easy to throw away a Bengals game at the end of the year, but we threw away those last two games at the end of last year, and they actually built something there. So is this a chance for them to build something with N'Keal Harry?
Absolutely. I mean, the touchdown pass was nice. Granted, Brady had like 8-9 seconds of protection, so it was as exhilarating to see the offensive line do some work and put some lumber in the trenches there as it was to see him play. I just like the fact that they're going to him. He looks different. He looks competitive. He just missed a ball, but there was pass interference a couple seconds ago. Like, he's moving. They got him the ball on that little end around. He's a big guy. Like, this is the big guy that they need. And considering that they came in, I think I heard earlier today, what did they come in? 27th in converting touchdowns in the red zone. Like, this is the size and speed that you need at this point because they're just a dead team in the red zone.
How do we feel Brady looked?
Yeah. Not great. I mean, he missed a couple of wide open He missed that Sanu play in the end zone was brutal. Yep. That overthrow. He had a real bad overthrow in the first series of the game. I know they ended up scoring, but just, little passes, misses here and there. And I mean, I don't expect if he unloads a pass and the camera has to move down the field, do you ever expect the guy to catch it? Do you ever expect him to come down with that? Well, not once. If the guy's on the screen at the same time as Brady and I can see them both on the screen, maybe he'll catch it. But if the camera has to move, that's not going to get caught.
The one to Harry, the deep ball to Harry that didn't count was a nice pass.
Yes, that was a good one.
The one on fourth down to Sanu, that came in too hot. The little option route there to Sony Michel, that was below his knees. That really wasn't Michel's fault. So I don't know. He hasn't been pressured as much today as he has in previous weeks, so he looks like he's throwing to pressure that isn't there at times, and I wonder if he's just still nervous about it or if he's just kind of like, I don't know. He looked okay today, Felger, at best.
Yeah, he missed some throws. It's just, what I would say. And I'd say he and Edelman had chances to hook up, and whether it was Edelman off a step or Brady going to him in the wrong place, there was a little bailout kind of little screen that lost a couple of yards I remember seeing. They missed a couple times. On little hitch-up patterns that they're usually money on. So I think whether it's Brady or both of them, still not totally right.
I didn't want Edelman to play today.
No.
I wanted them to sit Edelman down. He had all these injuries. I figured, it's the Bengals, sit him down, get him healthy, and start throwing to these other people. But he's playing and not doing much. But at least you're right. I mean, at least they're getting other people involved. And last year they pivoted to the run game, and that was really sort of how they survived going forward. This year, if they pivot towards the run game again, I guess, because they haven't had it this year, and throw in a N'Keal Harry, it's something. I don't know if it's going to be enough, but it's something.
Yeah, Tommy Curran was saying that shoulder is bad. Like, it looks awful. It looks like Quato. Like there's just got a bump and it's pretty bad. Felger, why do you think that they don't just take a look at Damian Harris? Just like, wouldn't today have been the perfect day to just get him in the fourth quarter and see what you got?
Yes. So there's something there. Like, what I don't get is, well, why not IR him at some point? Why not get that roster spot back?
Right.
Yeah. They carried him on the 53 all season long. So, that's just a waste. Shut him down. Give him an injury and shut him down and bring someone else onto the roster. That does seem like a total waste.
A little Foxborough red shirt.
Yeah, exactly. They do that all the time. All teams do that. I don't know. And it's such a position, like, that's not a position where you got to get up to speed. Hand them the ball and you see the hole and you run. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I'm sure they're probably concerned pass protection, so don't put him in passing situation. I don't know. It just feels like there would be a spot for him at some point.
He was catching balls in the preseason. He had a couple of nice catches and runs in the preseason. I was really expecting him to make some kind of impact this year. I really thought that he might be a guy that could come up and certainly make someone like Rex Burkhead superfluous. You don't need him anymore. And maybe even you phase out James White because you got this new pass catcher. Oh. But you haven't seen anything. You haven't seen hide nor hair of him out there. Nope. It's wild.
Wow, I haven't heard anyone use hide nor hair in a long time that wasn't smoking a pipe or wearing a sweater. Nicely done.
So is this another pick?
Yep.
J.C. Jackson with the interception.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, isn't he the best? Isn't PF? Wow, somebody got their clock cleaned afterwards too. Doesn't PFF say that J.C. Jackson's the best cornerback against deep balls in the NFL?
Okay, I'll buy it. I like him.
Yeah, I believe it if you say so, Fitz.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I saw it on the internet. It has to be true, right?
All right, fellas, I'm gonna bounce.
All right, Felger. Good talking to you, buddy.
See you, Felger.
Yeah, you too.
See you on Monday.
I do not think. If today was a day that Andy Dalton and listen, I got my college roommate went to Cincinnati. He's from Cincinnati. I know a bunch of Bengals fans. They wanted to lose this game in the worst way because they don't want to blow the chance to draft the Sagan.
Right.
But if Andy
I don't think Joe Burrow's going to be that good, by the way.
I think he'll be fine. I don't think he's going to be like Chris Wenke waste of a draft pick bad, but I think he'll be fine. I just don't think he's going to be like a savior. I don't think he's going to be like one of these quarterbacks like Kyler Murray has improved, even though their record is 3-9-1. He's improved the Cardinals. Obviously, Lamar Jackson is amazing. Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. That's the trend. That's the direction these offenses, or rather the quarterback position, seems to be going. So I think Burrow will be fine. But if Andy Dalton was looking to use today as an audition tape to go get 3 for 15 as a backup somewhere else next year or as a transitional starter, not good, Bob. Not good, Bob. No.
Not great, Bob, at all.
Not great, Bob.
I think, who's the other? The Finley, the rookie they tried out, and he didn't work, so they went back to Dalton. Like, they have a pretty big void right there, I'd say. Yeah. What are you wooing about?
Yeah, Finley was just. I was wooing his. The smell of the gashed open picnic trash that was Ryan Finley was awful. We got another fan joining us. You want to talk to Fitzy and Arcane? Just over 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Pat's putting the finishing touches on this one, 34-13. We got Corey from Rhode Island joining us on the fan line. What's up, Big Corey? How you doing, buddy?
What's going on? How you doing?
You look offensive lineman ready. It's either from the angle, the hat, the beard. I like it.
It's the beard and the hat. I'm like 5'9", 180, so not really.
That's running back. That's running back
I'm like
dimensions.
James White, who Arcan just said we should phase out, and actually, I think.
I didn't say we should phase out. I thought Damian Harris was going to lead to him getting phased out because eventually he's going to start costing money.
Walking away on James White a year or two early and just put it like literally seeing his replacement come in the same way Welker had to like train Edelman. They're always weird like that.
My feeling on James White, I feel he's a 3-down back. I'm done with Sony Michel. I'm done with him. I can't. He doesn't run hard. He can't catch the ball in the backfield. I can't do it anymore. James White, your best running back on the team. He's the best running back on the team.
In terms of running through the tackles, I don't know if I agree with you, man. He can catch the ball. He can't really run.
Opportunity.
Yeah, he goes down. Also too, like I know this is like my old man used to call this a picking pepper out of fly shit kind of comment, but he goes down kind of easy.
Yeah. I also think running backs, you get in a rhythm. And I mean, I'm not playing, I was a running back in high school, but I was. And you got to touch the ball, and you got to run the ball, and you got to carry it, and get in that rhythm. And, I mean, obviously we know what he can do in the passing game, but I don't know. I see he runs harder than Sony Michel. He gets through the line faster. If you could get in Sony Michel's ear or you were on that sideline, would you tell Michel like quit trying to
move, dance, finesse, and be
Tiptoe.
picky about your open holes. Like just run.
Just one cut and go. Because that's
One-
look at guys that have succeeded in this offense for the past year.
Right.
It's
One cut.
and go.
Everyone knows the rules.
Exactly. Yeah. Portnoy over here. But you see the tape, by the way? I don't know if you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the tape. I saw that tape.
Hey,
Yeah,
you guys-
I'll take things I wish I could unsee for $600.
Yeah, well, he had a good maneuver, but that's besides the point. I just feel James White is more of a one cut and go guy. Granted, he's small, but he keeps the defense on his toes because he can actually catch the ball out of the backfield.
He's got great hands.
It just, I don't know. It just, Sonny Michel just frustrates me. I was on board with him, and now it's just, I'm frustrated with him. Frustrated.
We're not letting anyone leave the fan line without a positive takeaway today. What's yours?
I get the play is Stephon Gilmore. He's the best corner, not Jalen Ramsey. He's the best corner in the league. Stephon Gilmore is the best corner in the league. And this defense, I'm going to go back negative again because I'm a typical, Patriots fan, but the defense doesn't look great against the Rams, certainly, because Joe Mixon's been on my fantasy team all year, and he's done shit until now when I get kicked out of the playoffs. But anyway, Gilmore, he could be defensive player of the year. He's
arguably
great.
Joe Mixon. If you look at these playoff teams up until Baltimore, Joe Mixon may be the best running back they'll face until the AFC Championship.
Yeah, absolutely.
If they play Houston, they don't have a running game. Tennessee may or may not make it in. Houston's running back core is all banged up. Pittsburgh's is all banged up. Old man Gore. I don't know.
O'Connor.
Singletary.
Derrick Henry doesn't really scare me. Derrick Henry.
Wow.
Derrick Henry's scary if he's healthy.
He's
healthy. That guy's a monster.
He's a bad man.
Yeah.
I think Joe Mixon's a little more talented in both the passing and the running game. That's the only reason. Derrick Henry's a kind of a straight ahead runner, but it's a big boy.
Yeah, he's awesome. All right, my man. Corey, thanks for checking in. Devlin Jr., be good, man. Go Pats, all right?
See you, Corey.
See you, bro. All right, what do we got? Just a 2-minute warning here?
I think so. I was just 3 minutes a second ago, and then I was looking at Corey, and then we started talking about, I don't even remember.
Yeah.
started talking about some other stuff.
People that run websites in there.
We're talking about Portnoy sex tape. That's right. Yeah, I got distracted.
What a world we live in, honest to God. So, all right. So it looks like right now.
He obviously leaked it himself, I think.
Looks like Houston is up 24-21. I'd be curious. I think both of those teams are probably going to be tough outs. It's going to be rough next Saturday against the Bills. I'm not sure exactly how much the Pats can expect to be able to score or how much they're going to move the ball against that defense. What do you think is going to be the bigger headache for the Pats next week defensively? I don't think it's going to be defending Josh Allen passing, obviously. Is it going to be their running game, or is it going to be – is Buffalo going to say, you know what, we're just going to let this kid run all day long because the Patriots have a tough time with these big, strong, slippery runners?
That's what they should do. They should take a page out of Deshaun Watson and Lamar Jackson and Mahomes to a lesser extent because they didn't run it that much. But I think they didn't give you a blueprint on how to beat the Patriots, but they showed you places where they're vulnerable. And I think that's something that the Bills are capable of doing. Except that Josh Allen's a jackass, and he's not he's not like a polished QB like some of these other guys. He can run and he's athletic and he can move around, but I don't know. He can't make the throws that Jackson makes. I don't even think he can make the throws that Watson makes, and certainly not Mahomes. So I think, sort of like Jackson, you want to make him throw more than he wants to. Don't let him just hand the ball off and let Frank Gore eat like he did in the first game. I'll say this, though. I know it was in Buffalo. That Buffalo game was the worst Brady's looked all year. They were really, really just trying to get a completion was a major thing, let alone a first down or anything. That was the worst the offense looked all year.
Edelman was hurt, but it was up there. They traditionally they haven't played that great. And McDermott, I don't have the stats in front of me, but I know Brady has more picks than touchdowns against McDermott. And although Brady has the benefit of never having lost to him, McDermott's defense is stymie Brady in a big old way. Yeah, I know. He doesn't get in his head; he just sort of gets in his face. And next Saturday we can't at 4:30. And I love Saturday football. I love the fact that there's 3 games at 1 to midnight. Love it.
I love that too. Yeah, I think that's great. It's right around the holidays.
We got 3 straight games in a row. That's going to be awesome. But that's going to be a grind next Saturday. You got to set your expectations now in hope for 16-10, just like it was last time. I could see it literally just being 16-13, 17-13. You know, maybe a cover, definitely the under. I just can't see how the Pats, if it took a bunch of defensive scores, you know, and more special teams action against the worst team in the league, what are they going to do when they face a top 10 defense in a power rushing game with all that on the line next Saturday, you know?
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's certainly it's a position the Patriots have been in more than the Bills have lately, and that's kind of what I'm resting this on. You know, they've been here before at this time of year when they're trying to win for playoff position, and you know they won't have the same kind of nerves that someone like Josh Allen will have and those coachings will have. But I mean, aside from that, like talent wise, matchup on paper,
I would set the over under in that game 29.5.
Yeah. Yeah,
no, it's not, right? It's
that's
pretty
not
realistic.
crazy. Really, it isn't.
All right, we've gone final. 34-13, extra touchdown for the Patriots there at the end. I think this actually was a cover in the over right there. So if anyone I think the over in Patriots Bengals. Hold on one sec. I'll check for you guys.
Patriots was 10.5 was the last number I had, so they definitely covered that. I don't know what the over-under was.
Just good time for the Bengals fans this year, huh? It was moved. It was 41.5. So there you go. Merry Christmas. If somebody took Pats in the over.
Perfect. Oh, you know what I really want to see right now? The only thing I care about right now is Zach Taylor's post-game press conference. I want to see how pissed off he is. That's going to be good.
If you were going to go Rise of Skywalker, I was in on that too. That's
fine. Yeah. No, I want to see Taylor get pissy with the media. That's what
it was definitely that footage. How much time are we going to have to? So all right. So with both of us heading into a week full of Patriots talk, me in the mornings on Greg Hill, you in the evenings with Jones on the Hub. What's going to dominate? Mm-hmm. What are going to be the talking points? What are going to be the headlines heading into the week for Pats talk?
It's going to mostly be about the punishment, whatever the punishment is, assuming it comes out this week. I think that's going to be the driving narrative because that's the last piece of this. Like we're all sort of in a holding pattern on what exactly is on the table and what the NFL thinks about it and everything else. I think the longer it goes on, the worse it is.
I think it's definitely bad that they've taken this much time and that they're still – I don't think they're dragging their feet. I think they're really trying to think how much they should dock the Pats for this. I mean, would you be surprised if it comes out if it's like $1.3 million?
No, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I wouldn't. I mean, I'd be surprised if it was a draft pick, money, a fine, and like suspending Belichick. Like, I think that's a little much. But like, if it's any one of those two of those three,
can you imagine if Belichick gets suspended like the first 4 games of next season or half a season or something? That would be jaw dropping.
Yeah, it would. I mean, that's considering that this is the third time now that there's been a scandal like this with him. It's, obviously it's not going to affect his status as the greatest ever, but it's definitely going to be something that's always right there in line with it. I think he probably, the first Spygate, sure, that happened. You got in trouble, and then Deflategate wasn't really him. If this is how it ends, like if it ends on something like this, you don't just get away from that.
I mean, look, listen, there's no glorious exit for any of us, no matter how great the life we lead is. We all still shit ourselves on the way out the door. So. But I still think for the effort he's put in, and and the greatness that's been on display for 2 straight decades, Belichick deserves better than that. But Goodell talking about making it extra thorough and doing all the due diligence and his usual bullshitty talking points, mixed up with the fact that Troy Vincent is involved, who will have a hair across his ass for the Patriots his whole life. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they don't go nuclear, but if they go beyond what our expectations are, and then. Great. It'll just be another distraction. I don't think though it'll teeter into like rallying point unless they actually do suspend Belichick. Then I think they'll rally around the coach for something he didn't even do. He didn't even do. He's like Belichick could be guilty for I guess his past sins, which sucks.
Yeah, but that's what happens when you have past sins. That's why the second time you get in trouble, the second time you get a DUI, they suspend your license for 2 years instead of 1. Right. You know what I mean? Like that's how it goes. All right, I think that's our time. Fitzy, it's been a pleasure, my friend. I'm sure we'll do this again, hopefully. And it was a big special thanks to Alex Reamer for his cameo, even though couldn't really hear him all that well. And, of course, Felger and Cam putting it all together back there at FanCred headquarters. This has been Patriots Fourth Quarter. Goodbye, everybody. Patriots win.